Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us for North Dakota Today on this Wednesday morning. I'm Lisa Bedeau here with Chris Berg. You know what I'm going to say?
I do.
It's because I'm a woman and I'm a wife. I have to say, I told you so. Told you so. I did not want it to be true. And others could say that to me because last fall they were talking about football, Bison football. But even if you're not a football fan, the quarterback of NDSU is sophomore, and he's already like, okay, one game this season, because there was only one game this season, has declared he's going to go into the draft. I know, it's a big deal. So they're already saying he's a lock, he's going in, all the, who was the guy who talked North Dakota tough? He's now a coach.
John Gruden.
Gruden. I wonder what he has to say. I'd like to hear what his opinion is. But so anyway, Trey Lance, Minnesota boy. I love this. And that's partially why I just am obsessed with Carson Wentz, is because he's not only was he a Bison, North Dakota boy. So, and I think, where was Easton Stick? He's Nebraska, right?
Yeah. Good
so,
memory, yeah.
He's like, these good old Midwest boys. So I know, I always think, well, you still need to get your college degree. What are you doing? But, everyone's like, you can't turn down the money. He'll maybe get a degree later. and all the Vikings fans are like, the Vikings are so terrible. They're going to, how does that work? Because they spent all that money on Cousins and now.
That's the problem. I mean, obviously if they sign someone like Trey, he's not going to dampen their budget, if you will, the salary cap. But I mean, look, if he feels like this is the right thing for him to do, kudos to him. I just know that reps matter, and the NFL is a whole different level.
It's true. Here's my husband's breakdown, though. He's like, yeah, but what if in the spring he plays and he gets hurt? He's lost millions of dollars. Right now they're like, we're going to pay you millions of dollars even without the reps. I
mean, he's got a point. When your stock's high, I guess go do your thing, right? Get paid if that's. But I don't know. I get the sense from Trey, I should say, that he wants to excel. He wants to do well. It's not just about. I don't know the kid, but I mean, it doesn't seem like it's just a paycheck. So we'll see.
Last fall, that's where I was going to say, people can say to me, I told you so, because last fall I'm like, no one's going to leave Bison Nation. It's a culture, it's like you're once a Bison, always a Bison. Like, it's just not happening. And then this year I was like, oh yeah, I bought into it. Here's what he put out on social media. I know he did some, different interviews and there was tweets and everything. When I noticed this, because I tell you all the time, I follow him on social media. And I think like I had to read through a lot, and it was, loving my brothers and that whole thing. But if you get all the way through it, it says it's my time now to begin a next chapter, and I'm going to be chasing my dreams and will be declaring for the 2021 NFL Draft. So I wish him the best. It's exciting, and I think it would be super fun if he was a Viking. Just imagine.
Incredible.
I know we have a guy who's from one of our photographers in the morning. I'm probably going to mess this up, but he's down south, like Mississippi or something, where it's like football. He's all football, and suddenly he's very excited about Trey Lance because he was more of like an old Miz kind of guy, and he was like, just the marketing alone for the Vikings. Can you imagine how many jerseys they would sell? And I was like, good point.
That is a good point. That's
because
very,
I think they probably
solid.
sell a lot of Thielen jerseys.
Yeah.
Because I say that too. Like I'm just like I think it's so awesome that Adam Thielen is one of us. Detroit Lakes kid, and he's killing it for the Vikings. Even if you don't watch football, like I keep saying that, like you don't have to. Just follow the top entertainment headlines of the Minnesota boys,
yes,
or the Bison, the Pro Bison. You can't even hardly keep up with Pro Bison now.
Budo, I love the fact that you think Bison Nation is. I mean, you're a college kid. Those days when you go to your bank account and you're like, okay, I hope there's some money in here, right?
Can we do Domino's tonight? No.
Exactly. Can't afford that. And then I have buddies that have had this happen. They had zero money, and then they sign their deal, and literally, you go to your ATM machine the next day. It's like, oh yeah, here's $1 million some dollars. Like.
So you go from drinking Miller High Life Light to drinking Cristal.
Exactly.
Let's break it down for people. Like
Exactly. So that one is hard to ignore.
Okay, another big story, and I'm not sure if you were a big fan. Van Halen passing away. Was battling cancer, died at the age of 65. Fans are remembering the legendary rocker Eddie Van Halen. I know him as like that face right there, the crazy hair, the outfits. I mean, that guy had personality. But then our reporters did some stories and interviews with local musicians and, musical instructors. And they're like, this guy was an icon. His guitar playing was like none other. Were you a Van Halen fan?
Yeah, I mean, Yes, you know, there were definitely some songs that you were like, oh man, this is fantastic. But obviously, I think there's more ardent fans than I am. But I mean, you can't deny. I mean, look at the guy. I love that when you see people, and I feel like Prince was the same way. Like the guitar is just an extension of their body. Like they can do it so blindly and so unconsciously that it just becomes a part of them, you know. And he was like that.
A true artist.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so a favorite Van Halen song. I spent the morning listening to some Van Halen songs, so I'm kind of have the advantage on you here.
Is Jump a Van Halen
Jump,
song?
yep,
Okay,
as I say, Jump, Running with the Devil.
Run. Okay, I think I know that one.
Panama, actually,
Oh,
when I was
Panama.
listening to that, like I didn't realize that was the name of the song, but when I was hearing, you know, the guitar, I was like,
Yes.
oh yeah. Hot for Teacher.
Hot for Teacher. I can't pull that melody,
Beautiful
but I can hear
Girls,
it.
Jamie's Crying, just a couple. I mean, so many. Like I went
Yeah.
through, I was like, I didn't even think I was a Van Halen fan, and then it was like incredible. So
Jamie's Crying. How does that one go?
yeah, I know. Every time we talk about it, he asks and asks.
That one
I'm
I
not going to
can kind
sing.
of hear, but not quite. So, yeah, okay.
Okay, our director is singing it in Chris's ear right now. Okay, well, so from Van Halen to, I accused one of our producers, it's like, why wasn't this in our show this morning? I think he's not getting quite as much attention. Have you heard of the singer Johnny Nash, singer-songwriter? The name might not sound familiar, but he passed away yesterday as well, and he was known for I Can See Clearly Now. I don't know if we can hear a little bit of the song.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all I
Do you remember that song?
Oh, absolutely.
Classic. Actually, I was actually singing that one a little bit because one of our other producers, I was like, do you know this song? Because everyone's super young in the music. She's like, of course I know that song. She's like, I have no idea who, who sings it. But
Right.
Nash was 80 years old. He started his career as a pop singer back in the 1950s. But that was on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1972 and stayed in the top spot for 4 weeks.
Really?
So that was a big song too.
Good for him.
This song, so now if you don't have enough songs stuck in your head, like what are you going to remember? You know, the Nash song, Van Halen. People usually get mad when I start singing this song or playing it. Baby Shark. I found this story, so okay, it's cruel if people put that song in your head, although I kind of like it. I found this story really funny. It's one of those probably not funny if you were the person who had to hear it. 2 jailers in Oklahoma are actually facing criminal charges and their supervisor because of what they did, and it has to do with Baby Shark. Okay, so they actually had a person in handcuffs, and they made them stand inside for long periods of time listening to this song over and over and over.
Is this a real
This
story?
is a real story. This is an absolutely real story. If you want to see it and read more of the details, we have it up on our Valley News Live Facebook page. 2 jailers, their supervisor, apparently they played Baby Shark as inmates were handcuffed, and they made them stand inside an attorney booth for long periods of time. Cruelty and criminal, I guess. Do you think it's criminal?
No. And so the people in jail are now trying to charge these people with
Yes.
some sort of like cruel and unusual punishment?
Yes, exactly. There you go. But maybe it's true, but I don't know. That's one of those like cruel, but is it criminal? I don't know. I think one of the attorneys was like, I think it should be a felony.
Man, don't even get me started right now because there's so much news going on about this kind of stuff where it's just,
Okay, so it's not a
Holy
real. No, this is a real story. This is a real story, though. So, but
this is real. This is actually.
this is real. I'm not making it up. These people are actually facing charges because
Okay,
they forced
right.
people to listen. It's a form of punishment that they're saying now
This was in Oklahoma, right?
in Oklahoma.
Man, some interesting stuff happened like in Oklahoma, Missouri, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, holy cow.
Do you have the song stuck in your head yet? Are you gonna?
No, in fact, I have not heard Baby Shark in full, and I will not do it just because I don't want it to like sit there the whole time.
Alexa, play Baby Shark. Who has their smart speaker on? Today, that was our Valley Today question of the morning. It was like 88 million people have one of these, and they use it every day.
It's Alexa.
Smart speaker, so it could be any one of your smart speakers. And I fought that for a while, and I know you're anti-smart
Yeah,
speaker.
do you use yours?
But yes,
You
we
do?
do it just for music, really.
Oh, okay.
And because I'm like, Alexa, play 90s hip hop. Alexa, what time is it? That's usually what I'm doing. But I know it took a while. But we unplug it when we're not using it because we only have one, so it kind of moves around too. I don't know.
What's your favorite 90s hip hop song?
I don't know. Probably the Biggie or Tupac.
Yeah.
P. Diddy was big back in the day.
Snoop.
Mace. Oh, Snoop. I remember
It's
listening
unbelievable, isn't
to
it?
Snoop. Yeah, and Snoop actually is still around.
Oh,
Mace, I
yeah.
think, is like a pastor now.
Yes.
P. Diddy is running the world, I think. What is
But like when Snoop and Dre had those tracks coming, you were just like
Dr. Dre? What's the
straight out of Compton. Is that the
yeah,
movie?
there's a lot of. I want to say there's one song that really I just think makes me think of 90s.
Gin and
hip.
Juice.
I like. Yeah, that's my Snoop go-to song, for sure. So. Oh, that brings me back. I do. I'm not kidding. I listen to a lot of 90s hip hop. I'll listen
it's
to
the
like,
best.
today's pop and most played
Yeah.
music, and then I'm just feeling like a little 90s hip hop. It
Exactly.
just brings me back to the day. I love it. All right, we'll get off hip hop. We have a great show planned for you coming up next here on North Dakota Today. We're talking about managing your finances during an election year. Great advice. Don't go anywhere.